Well, no one wants to think of their parents being too old to care for themselves. After all, they're the ones who took care of us as children. But as the roles reverse and we become the caregivers ourselves, it can really be one of the most difficult and emotionally trying situations we face. Senior care expert Mike Campbell has written this award-winning book, When Mom and Dad Need Help, to help families cope with these kinds of decisions by educating them about the process and providing them a step-by-step plan. Good morning to you, Mike.
Good morning, Danielle. Great to be here.
Good to see you this morning. You know, this book speaks pointedly to women. Why?
Well, the bottom line is men just don't handle these situations very well. There's definitely something in a man's DNA that just makes us drop the ball whenever a crisis like this occurs. While women tend to grab the bull by the horns and start the process before men even give it a second thought. So to all the ladies out there in the audience, you need to prepare yourself, because unfortunately, the responsibility of taking care of your parents is going to rest squarely on your shoulders.
You are a smart man. You're right. Women, we are doers. We will take charge of situations that are emotionally draining because men don't want to deal with the emotional aspect of it, and I get that. But here's the other thing. We already have so much on our plates. Our show is called The Balancing Act. We're already balancing it all, right? We've got work, we've got kids, we've got managing the household, and now we've got this emotionally draining process of finding long-term care for our parents. It's almost like we need a personal assistant.
Danielle, you've been talking to my wife. My wife has mentioned to me countless times about how she wishes she had a personal assistant to help her each and every day. And I think most women think this way. Well, my book is just that. Consider it your personal assistant to help guide you through the difficult task of finding your mom and dad a quality care option. It'll lead you step by step through the whole process.
I like that idea, but the other thing is that, you know, long-term care is not an easy choice, and it really is easy to become kind of emotionally overwhelmed by it all. I mean, after all, these are our parents. How do we get around that or manage that?
Well, I think we need to educate ourselves about the process today before mom and dad need help. I like to talk about it in these terms. We need to transition ourselves from a caregiver 911 scenario to a caregiver 101 scenario. It seems the formula these days is to wait until we or our aging parents suffer some traumatic event, which leaves us very little time to make some very important and gut-wrenching decisions. So, as our parents lie in a hospital bed, we're running around as if our hair's on fire, trying to find a quality care option that best meets their needs. And, it's just not a good situation.
And sometimes you can't react the way that you want to react rationally when everything is so overwhelming. So you're right, it's great to have that long-term plan. But I want to get back to this point of all of this falling on the shoulders of women. You're a man, and you wrote this book. Why?
Well, I guess it's the values and the life lessons passed on by my parents, and especially my mom. When I was about 9 years old, I asked my mom about the meaning of life. I asked her, why are we here? What's the purpose of our existence? And you know what she said? She said, the meaning of life is to make the world a better place because we're in it. And that's exactly why I wrote the book. I wanted to help people, based on the knowledge that I've acquired over the years. I wanted to not only help them find quality long-term care options for their parents, but to also open their own eyes as to the tremendous cost of long-term care so that they develop a plan of their own for the future.
What makes this book different from all the rest out there?
I think what makes my book different is the free CD that comes with the book. It has 18 different printable checklists to conduct telephone surveys, tours, and interviews of all the senior housing and care options. You simply print out all the files, and all the questions are laid out for for all the options that your parents are interested in, whether it be independent living with supportive living services, adult day services, assisted living, Alzheimer's dementia care, home care, continuing care or retirement communities. It really is your personal assistant to help you get through this process.
And here's the other thing, we're living longer than ever these days, and not to get too heavy into stats here, but the projected demographics demand that we are proactive on this rather than reactive.
Absolutely. There's an age wave heading our way. some people call it an aging tsunami. With the 78 million members of the baby boomer generation beginning to retire last year, the population of persons aged 65 and older is going to double by the year 2030. So how in the world are we going to care for all these people, and how are we going to pay for it? How we prepare for this unprecedented change today will determine how we the quality of life we all enjoy tomorrow.
Which is really important. All right, we've got just about 30 seconds left here. What are the 3 things that we should do right now?
Okay, the 3 things we need to do. Number 1, we need to have the talk with our parents. We need to initiate that conversation with them today about their future long-term care needs while they're still healthy, wealthy, and wise. Number 2, we need to educate ourselves about the process. We need to learn about all the long-term care options, what are the advantages and disadvantages of each. And number 3, we need to have a sound financial plan in place to pay for such care. Most people still think that their health insurance or Medicare is going to cover it. They're not. We need to have a plan.
And you know, at the end of the day, it is the circle of life, so we need to be prepared. Mike, thank you so much for coming by and sharing this information with us.
Thanks for having me, Danielle. I appreciate it.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
And again, the book is called When Mom and Dad Need Help. For more information on Mike or the book, please visit the website ifandwhen.com.